There we go. Now I'm started. Okay. Mm. Good morning, everyone. Stevig's log. It is May 21st, 2026. It is 9:43 a.m. My head is burning. I just got my tea. I spilled tea all over the floor and had to sweep it up with a burning head. Life is fun. So, I got a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about. I got my tea. So, I had a doctor appointment, a big one, follow up with neurology on the 19th. So 3 days ago. Um, yeah, I don't know how many days ago that was. So yeah, 3 days ago. And my mom, Lynn from Illinois, came to it and she brought me a whole bunch of loose tea that I brew up in the coffee pot with a filter, and it is so good. So I'm drinking chai tea, loose tea, so it's so good. Oh my gosh, so good. Ah, well, hi, my Pookie. I see you. Where was I? Oh, the tea. So yeah, so I have awesome tea to drink. I have 5 containers of it, so it's gonna last a while. And um, so that's cool. Okay, so as some of you know, mostly people on Facebook, I've been posting a lot to Facebook about it. I haven't posted anything to YouTube about it yet. So let me tell you the Jen Gertson story. Been wanting to do that. I've been dealing with this for the last, what is today, Wednesday? Yeah, I don't know how many days it's been. Oh, my head. So, anyway, I'll get into the details of the story in a minute. Needless to say, she died in 2011. I thought I got over it. What I was doing was, as I was intellectualizing it, thinking I had gotten over it, shoving it aside because I'm like, I've already dealt with that. So what I was actually doing was burying it, suppressing it, and not dealing with it, not actually grieving. And it's no surprise that it kept coming up every 6 months to a year in like this wave of emotional grief that um kept surfacing. um well, it hit me again maybe a week ago. Maybe it's been maybe I think it's been about a week now. And I quickly came to the conclusion I haven't dealt with this yet. I'm still I don't know. Anyway, so I've been talking about it on Facebook, processing the feelings and grief and stuff like that. And I realized that I'm not going to actually heal from this until I find people that knew her and cared for about her to share her memory with. And I've actually found a couple people, and we've been talking about it. Crown number 1. What does that mean? Does that mean you're my biggest fan? I already knew that. Yeah, it does. You're my top fan. It's saying you're my top fan. That's funny. So anyway, where was I? I digress. I need more tea. Give me that tea. Okay, so the Jen story. It's June of 1996. I'm at that ranch in Northern California. It's June. Everybody's graduated, prayed out. The ranch shuts down for a week. So everybody goes home. So I come back to Illinois for a week. While I'm there, I can't remember who I was staying with. I feel like I was staying at my dad's because I kept going. I don't know. Anyway, somebody gets a hold of me and says, "Hey, I know you like to play Doom. You guys remember that game on the computer and from the 90s, Doom?" Okay, so this guy's like, "Hey, I know this guy that plays Doom. Let me hook you up with him." So he gets me a hold of this guy named Don Gertson. And he proceeds to tell me he's got a 64-bit sound card on his computer. Now, if any of you remember 90s, why am I all the way in the corner of the screen? I'm just trying to sit comfortably, and I'm all the way jacked to the side of the screen. That's not good camera shooting. So anyway, so I get a hold of this guy, and I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I hear you got a 64-bit sound card. You play Doom. Let's hang out and play Doom." So he's like, "Okay, cool, sure." So I go over to his house. We're playing Doom with a 64-bit sound card, and his sister sticks her head in the door, just kind of pop in, see what's going on. So she now I have to be careful. How do I want to tell the story? Okay. So she sticks her head in the door. We're playing Doom. I'm not going to presume to assume I know what was going on in her head. I'm just going to go forward from what I was told. So she sticks her head in the door, and whatever, I don't think anything of it. I take note. Don's got a sister. She stuck her head in the door to see what was going on. So next day, couple days later, something like that, I get a hold of Don. I'm like, "Hey, you want to play some more Doom?" Because I was loving that 64-bit sound card. The computer I had at my house had a 16-bit sound card. That's the equivalent of playing an N64 game or listening to the soundtrack to an N64 game as to that over a Super Nintendo game. Some people had 32-bit sound cards, but Don Gertzen, he had a 64-bit sound card. We're talking now you're playing with power. So I get a hold of it. He's like, well, no, I can't. I'm busy. I got stuff going on. But my sister wants to hang out with you. She really likes you. I'm 17. I'm thinking, oh, a girl likes me. Okay, I'll entertain that. I'll see what, comes of this. So we make arrangements for her to sneak out of the house that night. And she's going to come meet me in this open yard lot, about 3 acres of land behind my dad's house. There's a guy who lived on the street adjacent. It's a little court that comes back there. For whatever reason, everybody's house back there has a typical yard. There is one house that the property assigned to that house fills that entire lot. Everybody else has typical backyards. This one house in the middle is the house that actually owns all the land back there. So big, we called it a lot. It's just this big yard with trees and grass and whatever, a big open area. It was almost like a tiny little park in the middle of a neighborhood. So we arranged, she's going to sneak out of the house and meet me there. I go and buy her. Now this is a funny thing. So this is a beautiful thing about doing a live stream like this. I get to fill in all the fun little details. So, and I'm so good at that. Some people find it very distracting, but I film my stories and with all the little details to help flesh it out. So anyway, so she's coming. I know she's coming. I know she's gonna I knew she was going to want smokes. So I walked to the gas station. There's a guy that works at the gas station that I got to know really well when I worked at Cracker Barrel years in the future. But anyway, so I didn't really know him at the time. I'm a 17-year-old kid. The only ID I have is my high school ID. It's 1996. So I walk in there and he sells me a pack of cigarettes with my high school ID. I'm like, wow, that I didn't expect that to happen, but hey, okay, sure. So I come back. We meet up. We're hanging out. I give her the pack of cigarettes. We sit down. We're sitting under this tree, sitting under a tree, and we just kind of talk about stuff, get to know each other a little bit, talk about music. Turns out, we like all the same music. Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. It's 96. We're talking about alt rock from the 90s and how it was changing our lives because we were teenagers. So we had this magic, this chemistry, our energy and frequencies harmonized to the point that it bent time. Now, this is why I believe this theory is plausible. Time is not linear. Our human brains are designed to measure time in a linear way. But time is fluid. It fluctuates. It is not static. And proof of this is if you use velocity and approach the speed of light, time slows down. So it is not constant. And somebody pointed out in my men's group Monday night, the past and the future is an illusion. The truth is, the human brain can only process time one moment at a time. All we get to perceive is a tiny slice of the now. And our past, we build who we are and our expectations of the future on what we've processed about the slices of time we have perceived in the moment. So I tend to look at time as a constant. Anyway, I digress. Back to the story. So 5.5 hours go by. Me and Jen are sitting under this tree, just talking about stuff and letting our energy and our frequency harmonize and interweave with itself. 5 hours go by in what feels like a few minutes. Before we know it, the sun is coming up. And Jen's like, oh my gosh, I gotta get home. So she leaves. And the next day I go back to California for another 10 months. So in June of 97, I graduate high school. I get prayed out. It's my time to leave. Ranch shuts down in June again. So I come back to Illinois. I have it all set up. I'm going to Bible college in the fall. I have a summer to fill. What am I going to do all summer long? Well, I did a few things. I connected with a couple of people, got in a ska band that didn't go anywhere, made some good friends, new friends in the church and stuff like that. And I also came back to Illinois as a guitar player. I had never been that before, a guitar player in Illinois. And I had some good bonding moments with my sister, which I never really had before. We kind of got into this groove where we would watch MASH together, and we actually bonded over it. It was kind of nice. So summer of 97, played guitar with a few people, tried to reconnect with Jen. For whatever reason, it just missed the mark. Never came together. I'm 18, turning 19 at this point. So many things I don't understand about relationships and women. I thought I just needed to try harder. So I push a little harder. Looking back, I see I was just pushing too hard. So I go off to Bible college. Forget about it. December rolls around. It's Christmas time. My home church every year did a drive-through nativity. I had set up that Friday night, I think, mid-December. I was going to throw another beer party like I did back in 95. And only about 2 or 3 people showed up. And I wanted to make sure Jen knew I wanted her to come because I wanted to connect with her, talk with her, have that magic moment again. And well, she showed up with her boyfriend. So, um, so that was kind of awkward. Um, I'm trying to reconnect with her and she's got a boyfriend. So, we hang out. She ends up leaving. I am beside myself. And I'm like, whatever, party ends, I go to bed. Go back to Bible college, whatever. Years go by. I don't see her. I don't hear from her. I don't know what's going on. All I know is I'm crazy in love with her. And so years go by. I start writing albums. Me and a friend of mine go to a local show at the American Legion Hall in East Peoria. Now I have to be careful what I want to indulge about her life. We randomly ran into her there with, again, she's there with her then boyfriend. She's in a mental state that disturbs me. I'll just put it that way. I go home and write a very angry song called Crucifix Needle. No one is ever going to get to hear it. It was an angry song that was crude, vulgar, and compared finding salvation in a syringe. So that happens. A year later, thinking about her, I write another instrumental piano song. It's just called Pretty Piano Song, which I dedicate to her because I was maybe thinking about her when I wrote it. I don't know. Anyway, it's her song nevertheless. So years go by. I forget about it. I don't see her anywhere. Like, we're living two separate lives. 2006 rolls around. And for 6 years, me and specifically my friend Ben and some of my other friends have been doing karaoke at karaoke bars. So, this is no different. We go to the elbow room like we do all the time, get a couple pitchers of beers over the night, go through a couple pitchers of beers while we sing songs. So funny little detail, like I always used to joke with people because we drank a lot. We would put down 3 pitchers of beer in 4 hours. And I used to joke to people, I'm like, okay, but if I start singing Bon Jovi, cut me off. That was a running joke. Because I sang Bon Jovi a couple times. Not that I couldn't sing Bon Jovi. Oh, I certainly could. But if I get to that state of mind where I want to, cut me off. Because I've had too much to drink. Cut me off. I'm done. So anyway, side joke. There I go, filling in all the little details that have nothing to do with the story, but I just like to flesh out the substance of what was going on. So we go do karaoke at the Elbow Room on Main Street at the top of the hill in Peoria. If anybody knows where that's at, that used to be my old stomping grounds for 5 years. So we go to the Elbow Room one night. in like the first week of July, I think. First week of July, 2006. We walk in. And who is there? Jen is there. It's like, wow, okay. So Jen and I have a lot of catching up to do. Jen, surprisingly, looks at my friend Ben and says, "Oh my God, he's still so hot." And I was like, okay. She can't keep her arms off of from around my neck. We pretty much spent the entire night like that, with her head nuzzled into my chest. And we talked. She had moved out to Portland. She hated it. But she confirmed to me that yes, she did have feelings for me. Which just served to stir up all of mine. So we have this beautiful evening. It's pouring rain outside. And I remember she had to go outside to take a phone call from her mom that night in the pouring rain because it was too loud inside. So she went outside into the alley around the corner in the pouring rain to take this phone call. She comes back in. She's like, "Hey, my mom says hi." I was like, "Oh, your mom remembers me? Oh, okay, cool." So we have this incredible evening. I go home and write this 11-minute magnum opus to her. 11-minute song. And I don't see her again for another year. She was making a lot of bad life decisions at the time. So it's probably for the best that our paths didn't cross more often, because in hindsight, it was evidently clear that we could not have been together at that point in our lives. It just wouldn't have worked. So by this point, by 2006, I realized this and had accepted the fact that, okay, I'm just going to patiently wait for her to figure her life out, and I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. It's all good. In fact, I kind of hint on that in this 11-minute song. I hint at it. So a year goes by. It's 2007 now. Me, Ben Jackson, and Ben Grethy had just gone to see Spider-Man 3 in the theaters. We're all hyped up. So we stop at Walmart. I go in and find this really cool, some of you might remember it, black suit Spider-Man t-shirt. I used to wear it all the time. I literally wore it till it was had holes in it and was falling apart. That, and I started putting on a whole bunch of weight in my late 30s, and it didn't fit anymore because it was small. In 2007, like, I had a very petite upper body, so it was a small. And plus, like, I was still in my rock star phase, so I wore tight-fitting shirts. That was just my style. So I go in Walmart. I buy this Spider-Man t-shirt. I come out. There's a tour bus outside. I find out later that the two Bens had just casually strolled on board. Turns out it was Jimmy Eat World's tour bus. They were parked. Somebody had to run inside for something. They walked on the bus, only to be met by, "Shh, my daughter's sleeping in the back." So they're like, "Okay." They say hi and they leave. Meanwhile, I'm standing out in the parking lot, and guess who pulls up? Jen pulls up in her car. She gets out, surprised and pleased to see me. She's like, "Hey, what's up? We need to hang out sometime. We should go see Spider-Man 3. I'm like, "Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. We just got done watching it." So I'm like, "Okay, yeah, let's hang out sometime." We're friends on MySpace because it's 2007, so it's all about MySpace. We're friends on MySpace. She has every opportunity to get a hold of me. She just doesn't, because she's in her life, in her world, doing her thing, and I'm in mine. And for whatever reason, it just never connected. Nothing ever came together. It's one of those star-crossed tragedies. So anyway, so we're like, "Okay, yeah, let's hang out." That's the last time I saw her alive. At all. No, that's the last time I saw her. Period. Punctuation point. So, a couple months later, it's July 2007, God starts to take me on his journey. I end up homeless, moved to Iowa. I'm there for 6 months. I moved to Albuquerque. I'm there for 2 years. I moved to Bloomington, Illinois. I'm there for 5 years. While I am there, I had gotten my own place. I had a house converted into a Victorian house built in 1873, I think, because I did the research on the house. I went through a phase in 2011, 2012, 2013 where I was fascinated and picked up the hobby of researching the history of houses. So, old Victorian house converted into 3 apartments in the 70s. So I live in one of those apartments. That's the place I got for myself. And watching a lot of Doctor Who at the time, completely forgot about Jen. So it's October 2011. And I get the phone call from Ben. Jen's dead. Not only is she just dead, she was brutally murdered. This was way more than my high frequency brain could process at the time. All I could think about was she hated Christians. She hated Christianity. And everything I know about the Bible tells me she was not saved. And she's probably burning in hell. My brain could not process that. I went for a big long walk that night, poured my heart out to God. Never really got over the initial numb feeling. Because when you're told something like that, your emotions go numb. And I never really processed it. What I ended up doing, because this is the way my brain works, it's default. It does it with everything. It's how I process information. It intellectualized it. It tried to mathematically formulate and compute this loss. Well, you can't do that. It doesn't work. But I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of what was going on. It was just happening. So I intellectualized it, filed it away in the back of my brain, and never really dealt with it. Years go on. I thought I was over it. I thought I had dealt with it. 2018. July of 2018. I'm in Mount Vernon, Kentucky. I'd gotten married. My wife had left me. I'm working at IGA, waist deep into gas station log. Gas station log was an opportunity for me to pour myself out through creative expression. It was therapeutic, and it helped me heal from the loss of my wife leaving me. For some reason, one day, all my feelings for Jen Gertzen popped up. And I became overwhelmed and obsessed with it for about a week. I found her mom on Facebook, messaged her, sent her the 11-minute song that I wrote, because Jen never got to hear it. She never got to hear any of the 3 songs. Thank goodness she never heard Crucifix Needle. That would have been bad. But she never got to hear the songs I wrote for her. But I sent it to her. The 11-minute song basically summed up my feelings and what I got out of this 10 years of feelings, summed up. She said she liked the song. She thanked me for loving her Jenny. And I never heard from her again. I messaged her. I inquired. I'm like, so tell me about Jen. Tell me things I didn't know. And she never got back with me. So I went through about a 2 to 3 week period of time, maybe longer, I don't know, period of time where it came back up and I had to deal with it. And I didn't really deal with it. I intellectualized it again because I thought that would work. Honestly, I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, I don't know how to deal with this. And I just lived in it until it went away. Two years, okay, so by the end of 2018, I get with Kayla. Kayla and I talk about it here and there occasionally. Kayla was fascinated by it. It helped me explore it with me rather than be the typical girl who gets defensive and jealous of other girls that had my heart. She embraced it and helped me explore it with me, which was beautiful. So I wasn't overwhelmed by feelings of loss or what never came to be, the loss of potential. I was exploring it with someone. But then Kayla and I broke up in February of 2020. And by April, May, June, somewhere in there, it came back up just like it did in 2018. And I actually believed her spirit or ghost, if you will, was visiting me. Over the course of a year, I would frequently get visits from her ghost. What was it? Was it all in my head? Was it real? Was it a real spiritual interaction? I have no idea. I know what the Bible says about that. Or was it all in my head? I think it's likely it was probably just all in my head. Because my high frequency 160 IQ brain didn't know how to process. It could crunch numbers and calculate how to score an episode of Gas Station Log and create a dramatic theatrical production out of a guy sitting in a gas station talking about his life. It could do that all day, but processing loss on this massive of a scale was not something it could do. So over the course of that year, I dealt with it by creating the illusion, what would you call that? What is the word? Hallucinate. So I had this hallucination that her spirit was visiting me, comforting me. And that's how my brain processed it. So eventually I moved up here to Bloomington, Indiana, and it went away. And then I ended up at Wheeler Mission. She didn't bother me there. My emotions, thoughts didn't bother me. And here I am at my mom's, dealing with neurological issues. And about a week ago, it came back up. Full force, dam broke, flood coming in like a tidal wave because the dam broke. I quickly realized I have not dealt with this. I have not actually grieved. And what I've done is intellectualized it, suppressed it, shoved it aside, and it's refusing to be side channeled anymore. And God tells me, you have to deal with this. And he gave me the analogy that when you are the family at a funeral or a visitation, so let's look at a visitation or a wake or a celebration of life. Not so much the funeral, but the gathering. Everybody comes through, pays their respects. Nobody knows what to say or wants to say anything. So they're like, sorry for your loss. The important thing is they are there for you. They are physically there to let you cry on their shoulder, and it doesn't matter what they say because it's not going to matter to you because you're chin deep in grief and it's not going to sink in probably anyway. So God is sitting back saying, it doesn't matter what I say to you. There's no profound truth that I can reveal to you, even though I could. It's not going to matter to you because you need to grieve this out. Just know that I'm here for you. I'm standing by, but you need to go through this. So I give myself a comfy pillow to lay my head on while I grieve. I've been playing with AI generated photos since December, maybe. And I'm blown away by how much it has advanced just since December. In December, I was generating AI pictures of me and Kayla together in fictional scenarios, like we're on the bridge of the Enterprise, and it butchered her likeness. I generated pictures of us back when we were teenagers, as if we had always been together since the beginning, because it's cute. So, in order to help me grieve, I gave myself a comfy pillow to lay my head on. And I generated pictures of me and Jen together today, not as a living in a fantasy kind of escape, but as if I was peering through the multiverse and I found a parallel universe timeline where she isn't dead. We did end up together and we're happy, which is a plausible scientific theory. And I found solace in that. So, it was the cushion to soften the blow of dealing with the grief. And I'm dealing with the grief. I'm talking it out with people. I'm sharing memories. I acknowledge that, yes, I absolutely need to talk to a therapist. I've been waiting to get plugged into one since February. I'm finally getting plugged into one. But what do you call it? So, give me one of these. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I've been talking about this for 47 minutes, guys. Pookie, are you still here? You haven't said anything in a while. I don't know. It's not showing that anybody's in here. No, it's showing there's no one in here. Well, that's sad. I'm pouring my heart out in my life story about how I loved someone so fiercely and intensely, and there's no one here to listen. Hopefully, people will come back for views later and check it out. But anyway, so we just hit the 48-minute mark, and I still have something else to talk about. I just didn't realize it was going to take 48 minutes to tell this whole story. But I wanted to lay it out there. I wanted everybody. Okay, so for 30 years, I have been sitting in isolation with these feelings that go all the way back to 96. And that magical night we shared under the tree where 5.5 hours went by in a few minutes. And I have never experienced that kind of magic with anyone. And it might be obvious to some of you that know me. It's finally starting to make sense to me now that I've acknowledged that I have a high frequency brain, that all of my feelings are high frequency and come off as intense. So it makes perfect sense to me. It's no big shock to me that I tend to fall in love with people fiercely and intensely. And with some people, it's been borderline obsessive. Kayla. So anyway, so that's where I'm at in May of 2026 with all of this.